Hello everyone, welcome to the first lecture on Ruby on Rails programming tutorial from W3 Grads. In this video, we will introduce Ruby on Rails, its history, features, and applications along with the application areas, so let's get started. Are you looking to step into the IT industry and become a web developer? Ruby on Rails might be just what you need to kickstart your career. It is a trending technology that is used by a lot of developers around the globe for web application development. Which is super easy, so do you want to learn Ruby on Rails? Then we are here to guide you by starting a series based on Ruby on Rails development from basics to advanced. This series will give you a complete understanding of Ruby on Rails. Talking about Ruby. Ruby was created in 1993 by Kira Matsumoto or Moz, as he's known on the interwebs. Moz created Ruby by taking parts from his favorite languages to create an ideal programming language. Moz designed Ruby for programmer productivity and fun, emphasizing the language being understood by humans first and computers second, which is why Ruby is such a fantastic language to learn, especially for beginners, because it's very easy to read and understand. Ruby is a high-level programming language, interpreted like Perl, Python, object-oriented like Smalltalk, Eiffel, Ada, Java. Some factors contribute to its popularity. Easy to learn, open source, rich libraries, object-oriented, less coding with fewer bugs. Ruby is not an unheard framework to use. Many businesses and companies already are using it. Twitter for instance or GitHub was on Ruby on Rails for a long time. The same is true for Shopify. This all is written in Ruby. Ruby provides a program called Herb, embedded Ruby, written by Seiki Masatoshi. Herb allows you to put Ruby codes inside an HTML file. Let's now talk about Rails. Rails came about 10 years later after Ruby was created. Rails is a web application development framework written in the Ruby programming language. It is designed to make programming web applications easier by making assumptions about what every developer needs to get started. It allows you to write less code while accomplishing more than many other languages and frameworks. Experienced Rails developers also report that it makes web application development more fun. If you persist in bringing old habits from other languages to your Rails development and trying to use patterns you learned elsewhere, you may have a less happy experience. The Rails philosophy includes two major guiding principles. Don't repeat yourself. DRY is a principle of software development that states that every piece of knowledge must have a single, unambiguous, authoritative representation within a system. By not writing the same information over and over again, our code is more maintainable, more extensible, and less buggy. Convention over configuration. Rails has opinions about the best way to do many things in a web application, and defaults to this set of conventions, rather than require that you specify minutiae through endless configuration files. Now visualize this. It's 2005. A Danish guy named David Heinemeier Hansen is talking at a conference, and on the live stage he is showing people how to build an entire blogging system in 15 minutes, now old school. How does he do it that quickly? Normally, this would take years to build. This was possible because he built a Ruby on Rails framework that is precisely designed to help you build websites swiftly. Ruby on Rails uses the Model View Controller, MVC, architecture pattern to organize application programming. In 2005 version 1 of Ruby on Rails was officially released and Rails took off in 2006. When Apple bundled it and shipped it with Mac OS X Leopard, some of the biggest websites in the world currently use Ruby on Rails. Sites like Hulu, Groupon, SoundCloud, Airbnb, Codecademy, Kickstarter, and Indiegogo. Twitter was the first famous website to use Ruby on Rails. There are many reasons you should go with ROR to build your website. Open source framework that makes web-friendly apps. Budget-friendly. Simple development because of the library of text files. Simple to learn. High scalability. Availability of tools and research libraries. We think Ruby on Rails is a great start to do web application development, so I hope you will enjoy this series. And please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for upcoming videos. Bye, enjoy your day.